this video, I'm going to show you how to take this apart. You take these out of the back, pull it off, and you just take everything else off that you can figure out, like the clip and the barrel nozzle. And then you take the little pin out of there and take it off. Grab your handy dandy screwdriver and find all your screws. Should be, I don't remember how many there is, but just screw them out of there. They're all different sizes, so remember where they go. I think the long one goes underneath the barrel, and yeah, the really fine threaded one goes the farthest on the barrel. The two ones that are the same go near the trigger. Take your Allen key and get that sight off the barrel. Yeah, just spin the shit out of that thing, then take her off. And then on the fire switch, then safety switch, there's a little tiny screw on the switch, on the bottom of the switch, and you take your little screwdriver, and it's one screw, you take it out, and then you take the one side off, and then the other side will come on with it. Yeah, right there, like that. And then the bottom just, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, you have to pull the top off. It's a pain in the ass. I had trouble doing it. You have to take out the screws first, and they have to be completely taken out, otherwise you could damage your gun. But take your screws out. There's 4 of them on each side of the gun. Yeah, I'll have to. I just shook them out of there. But you do whatever you gotta do to take them out. I think I only had 2 in because I didn't want to have to take 4 out again. That was a pain. And then you have a couple snaps and you poke them and then pull the top off. That was the hardest part for me, well, to figure out. I think there's 4 snaps on each side, and then you take that top off, and then that part just snaps off, and then you have the inside of the gun. There's a little part, it fell out on me and I didn't know where to put it, so I'm going to show you where to put it. It just kind of goes in there. It has a little crevice for the spring, and it just fits in there nicely. And it's for when the clip is in and it's out, it stops you from pulling the trigger. And so if the safety thing falls out, it's not very hard to put back in. You can just lift the metal piece and put it back in, whatever fits nicely. And I will show you how to put the gun back together. Line it up nicely. Make sure it goes in on the right side where you can, where the safety thing goes in nicely into the hole. And then put your little clip detector thingamajig in. Make sure everything's all straight and good and fitting in there nicely. Looks like I'm a little bit confused. Oh yeah, just stick that cap right back on there. Snap her back on nice and good until she's one piece again. And then snap that piece back on. You just put the front in first and then snap it all on. Just doing some extra snapping together of the gun. Then you put the top in first and then you snap it all into place. Should go nicely. Yeah, look at that, nice and clean. And then you put your little tiny screws in. All 4 of them. They should be the really small screws. Yeah, those little motherfuckers right there. Yeah, put those cocksuckers in there. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, screw that gun. Yeah, I'm lazy, so I'm only putting one in, but showing you where the holes are. And then you take I think that's the long one, the longest one, and you stick it at the bottom of the barrel, the lowest point of the barrel where you put your hand if the foregrip isn't on. And you take the 2 that are the same, and then you screw them in to the bottom where the trigger is. I think that's what I'm doing. I can't tell. I honestly don't know what I'm doing right now, but I'm sure it's good. I think I am putting the safety switch back on. Pretty easy to do. You just put the thing through the gun, and it only goes on one way, so make sure it's the right way. And it'll fit nicely if it is the right way. And then you just screw that screw back in and it should hold itself into place. There is I think the really fine looking one with the or is that the long one? I don't know, but the longest one goes on the bottom of the barrel. The really skinny threaded one goes the farthest to the barrel as you can go, and the 2 medium-sized ones that are the same go where the trigger is. Just screwing in screws, having a good time. My first video, by the way. The reason I'm taking apart my gun is because it was working, and then one day it's just like, oh, let's just leak out all my CO2. So I put another CO2 tank in and pierced it, tightened it as much as I could possibly tighten it, and then just, you could hear it hissing out, and it just had no balls when I was shooting it. It would go maybe a foot and fall, hit the ground. And yeah, so put the sights back on. Not hard to do. 2 screws for the sight near the back, and that 1 Allen key screw in the front. Same way you took it off. Shouldn't be too hard. And then the back led, you screw that side screw in first before you put the thing on. Then you put the thing on after you screw it in, and then you put that top screw on, the fat one, the big head. Put your little thingamajigs in, I don't know what to call them, little pokey things, and hold your backpack on, and then you put your grip back on, you put your little pokey thing in there too, and it looks like you have a nice little gun. Mine's still a piece